Starlux has made a name for itself with this out-of-this-world business class. Even their signature cocktail looks like it's given me a level up. But what about their premium economy?
So is the premium economy as out of this world as the business class? And is it worth the upgrade over economy? Now, most of the world this week is talking about global airlines. We're not. We're over in Asia, we're looking at Starlux, which is the best thing since 7-Eleven was invented, and we're not traveling in their business product, which is really good, but we're going to see whether premium economy is worth the upgrade over economy.
Leaving the comfort of Citizen M, it's 5:30 in the morning, and there's no way to avoid this early flight time departure without changing my entire plans. I'm hoping to catch the second train of the day from Taipei, Maine to Taipei's second largest airport, with the journey time taking 35 minutes, and the good news is that you can now use a contactless credit card or debit card to pay for the journey.
Oh, hey there. Today's flight is brought to you by, well, you.
You see, your support on Patreon and YouTube keeps these reviews flying high, without any corporate turbulence, and it helps to fuel honest, independent reviews, and maybe even the occasional bag of Inflight peanuts.
So if you'd like the channel to remain airborne, then head over to our Patreon or support us on YouTube. And just in case you're wondering, no, you can't use the high-speed train because it doesn't go to the airport. You can change, but it's not really worth it. And you can self-check-in, but only from 9 o'clock.
I also managed to get a seat, which can be a little bit of a challenge, but by arriving early, I caught the Purple Express train, which makes 4 stops instead of 12 to the airport.
It's definitely a pretty route to get to the airport, but I'm tired, I'm hungry. Let's get checked in.
2 days ago, I decided to fly the cutest flight in the world, from Cebu in the Philippines over to Taipei, from the happiest country in the world, the Philippines, and also forgot to film the ending. But if you have kids or you love the colour pink, then Terminal 2 has the Hello Kitty check-in desk, which is worthy of a few photos. The queue for the bag drop was fairly short, but I think this is one of the first flights of the day, and I was just pleased not to be opposite at the China Airlines desk, which looked a little insane. 5 minutes later, and I was on my way to passport and security, which initially looked like it might take some time, but it's extremely efficient, and before you know it I was through and in search of food, as today's flight does not include any sort of lounge access.
Now usually I would just go to the lounge, but I have no status with Starlux, and it's not, maybe, might join Onboard at some point, so I'm off to find some food.
Where I'd like to be seated is Eva Air's The Garden, which looks very comfortable, but it is just out of reach. So I found a nice looking coffee shop that's just across the way, with the amusing name Simple Cafe.
So what I did do was I bought myself this coffee which comes a bit of love, unlike the price, which was £9. Or $11 US, which is quite expensive, but it's cheap in the lounge and cheap in upgrading to business class. So.
And included a half ham and cheese toasted sandwich, which was pretty tasty. Or if you fancy a hamburger at 7 in the morning, which I don't, then you could go to local chain Moss Burger.
Right, so that's breakfast out the way. I'm off to go find some nice photos and videos of the flight, and let's have a look at today's journey map.
Juliet X-Ray 741 departs Taipei at 9 in the morning, with Bangkok 1,575 miles away, arriving at midday, taking 3 hours and 50 minutes. Knowing that Starlux will feed me on the plane, hopefully with something beautifully Asian inspired, I'm quite content with my breakfast. So I'm off to find gate Delta 6, which is just before Starlux's lounge in Terminal 2. If you get the opportunity, this is such a unique and different lounge from anything I've ever been in before. And if you want to see it, check out our review of Starlux's A330neo in business class. I'll tag it on the end of this video. Out the window, I can see two beautiful and very new Airbus A350s. These are currently operating some of the regional routes, but by the time this goes live, they'll probably be rescheduled onto the long-haul routes. Starlux also has 13 Airbus A321neos like this one seen in Cebu. And in addition, they have 8 Airbus A330neos, which are mainly used for covering regional routes. Once I got down to the boarding gate, besides the toilet there's just a lot of chairs, but it's a modern warm space with a view out the window of our ride over to Bangkok. I'm sort of a little indifferent about the livery. It's very sleek and modern, but I just wondered why they chose brown and black. Do you love it, or are you a bit like us? Maybe drop us a comment below to let us know what you think.
Hello everyone, thank you for waiting. Starlux Airlines flight JX741 bound for Bangkok.
Starlux's Airbus A350 caters to every class. So at the very front of the plane you have one row of first class suites, which I really kindly asked if I could sit there just for a moment, and they were incredibly accommodating. Just behind this are 6 rows of business class seats, complete with doors, in a 1-2-1 layout, which we'll cover in a separate video, so maybe consider hitting the subscribe and like below, which really helps out the channel. Otherwise, thank you just for watching. And finally, behind door number 2 is where we're sitting in a very plush and nice premium economy cabin, with 5 rows by the window and 4 in the centre in a 2-4-2 layout. And finally, we get the 2 sections of economy class just behind, in a very pleasant 3-3-3 layout.
So when it comes to space, this seat has 40 inches of pitch, which you can really see there was a lot of space here, and 18.5 inches of width.
Unfortunately, I got the figures slightly wrong, and while Cathay Pacific is 18.5, Starlux is actually 18.7.
But it's also 8 inches of recline, whereas Cathay is 9, but that's an inch difference, so neither here nor there.
Probably the most impressive thing about the seat is that massive 4K entertainment screen, which we'll discuss later in the video, because there's plenty of other seat features to discuss. Just in the centre of the seat is a very beautiful wood adorned table, extremely useful for the welcome drink or during the meal service, and if you look a little bit below the seats you'll find loads of tech features, including a universal plug socket, USB-A and USB-C for both passengers. There's also a storage nook for water bottles on a longer flight, and buttons on the side for the recline and the leg support, which I admit I didn't quite know how to use.
So this is Starlux's economy class. It's got 18 inches of width and 31 inches of pitch.
I'm sitting in row 31, and you'll be pleased to know that a 13.3 inch HD display is mounted on the wall, so you can watch it all the way from boarding to landing. I don't think they could have actually squeezed in a larger entertainment screen, which is really big and vibrant. Impressive. The seats also have the same bronze tones and materials as found in the other cabins, and they look very inviting. Also featuring a little fold down table with a cup holder and a USB socket, but what's awesome is the Bluetooth pairing. Considering today's flight is only a few hours, I'd have no problem at all sitting in economy, but we need to go back to 24 kilo and check out the amenities. On the seat ready and waiting, you'll find a blanket, a bronze coloured pillow and a high quality set of headphones. For premium economy, particularly given this is such a short day flight, it's fine, but the pillow could be a little bit larger. And the blanket, we'll find out how warm it is later in the video. So far, I'm reserving judgment until the meal service, but those really huge screens in premium economy and the extra space for not a huge amount more are pushing me in one direction. Starlux, as the name suggests, has a theme, and they've got this really spot on with the safety video. It's extremely different and bold when compared to the other two airlines based in Taipei. It's entertaining but not too much to distract, and there were a few amusing moments. Also noticeable is the jumpsuit, which makes me wonder, having not met the CEO, if he's maybe some relation to Darth Vader. And they also wave the plane off, which I haven't seen outside of Japan, but it's nice. That last one put a smile on my face, having flown it only 2 days ago, and I took home a souvenir.
I have to say that the A350 is really quiet. I think so is the A380. It's just a really good design. Even so, these headphones are really good for premium economy. They even have noise cancelling, which makes that a little bit extra difference. Anyway, just before the meal service starts, let's check out the in-flight entertainment.
I still can't get over this huge, crisp and bold 18-inch 4K UHD touchscreen display, which couldn't be any larger if it even wanted to, because of the limits of the seat's width. Although I'm very aware at the front of the plane, in the first class seats are a whopping 32 inches, this is still very impressive. Starlux delivers a lot of content, and I could easily fly it, and would love to Los Angeles and back, just to see what the long haul service is like. And the TV shows are also reasonable, but not many airlines excel here, because they know you'll probably fill your time watching movies. And today's film choice is Baywatch, with Dwayne Johnson in charge of the team, and Zac Efron playing the part of the rookie who is extremely cocky. I've not seen the original series with the Hoff, but this was definitely entertaining. And if you're travelling with kids, they tend to get bored, so sit them by the window, because hopefully pressing the clever buttons and polarising the window will distract them. Taking no time at all to go dark, and about 40 seconds to go back to untinted.
Now, usually I would start off the review with the meal service, but I'm going to go see the onboard bathroom, loo, and there is something pretty exciting in there, which if you're an aviation enthusiast or you just like planes in general, this could be a bit of a souvenir. Maybe don't take it home though, don't steal it.
So what's got me all excited? Well, it's not the plants or the lush amenities, but the toilet paper, which looks like a runway, and it almost seems far too nice to use. The tray table, which is rather pretty, is just inside the left armrest, and there weren't any printed menus. To start with, we have a nice piece of cooked chicken with salad, which was tasty but not amazing. And the main course being chicken with rice, with steamed broccoli and what could be egg or possibly tofu. It was certainly presented well, and it could have just done with maybe a little bit of soy sauce. In addition, there was a pretty bronze glass with mixed fruit, and a nice bread roll was also served on the tray, with a low packed butter. In some ways it's hard to gauge because I haven't flown a huge amount of premium economy, but this feels like an elevated economy meal, which is probably exactly where it should be, with metal cutlery and a lack of plastic containers. I also chose to have an apple juice, which was refreshingly sweet, and a glass of wine, but it's good to know that you can choose one of their specialty concoctions, just like in business class.
I've not done too many premium economy products, so I haven't got too much to compare with, but it was a good sized meal and there was a lot of variety through breads. The chicken was nice and moist with nice rice, and to finish things off I have this beautiful cocoa chip gelato ice cream.
It's just unfortunate that it needed about 25 minutes to defrost, and I have no idea what pomelo is, but it tastes like somewhere between matcha and that extremely smelling fruit, durian. With my ice cream resisting and taking its time, the view at the window is so gorgeously blue. And I've now moved on to the movie Soul, which is one of my favourites, and it's about the story of a man in the USA who has a passion for jazz, but he ends up teaching it instead of being a full-time musician. And having an unfortunate accident, he ends up in the afterlife, but it's called The Great Before, and he's paired up with a soul that is not interested in going to Earth. With voices from classics such as Tina Fey and UK-based celebrities Graham Norton and Richard Ayoade. All that remains to be said is that the seat is extremely comfortable, and after such a large meal I was quite tired. I genuinely believe that I could probably get a good sleep in this seat, thanks to the proximity to the wall, and if you use the pillow on it then great, otherwise just use the adjustable headrest. After a very short and refreshing nap, I dived into the Onboard magazine Qian, which has a lot of nice articles with ideas of where to go and what to do on the Starlux route map. There's also a page with different levels of membership, although I'm hoping they might join oneworld, that's if Cathay Pacific, who are based in Hong Kong, doesn't say no. You could also do a little bit of shopping in their Onboard magazine Be Shopping and pick up one of your favourite model airplanes of any of the fleet. But with the Hello Kitty plane in the hold in my suitcase, I've spent enough. One more great reason to fly Starlux is that you currently get free Wi-Fi, which is unrestricted in business class, or you can chat for free if you're in premium economy or economy. There's definitely something exciting and very new about Starlux, and I've really enjoyed myself, everything from the brand, the concept and the food.
And now it's time for today's conclusion. Looking at Starlux's premium economy versus economy, the main difference is the seat, because the economy meal is the same in both cabins, so if that's a consideration, might be one to avoid, but generally the cabin crew was so good and that seat is really comfortable. It's probably one of the only seats, except for maybe Norse, where I would say in premium economy, I think I could sleep on a long haul flight quite comfortably, because the way the pillow angles with the wall and the seat is just really good. The 4K screen as well
is big and vibrant. It's just a shame that it's so glossy, which just means that the sun reflects off it so badly. Generally though, Starlux is such a good airline. Doesn't matter whether you're travelling in economy, premium economy or business class. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you so much for watching.